Well, you touched upon it when you were speaking to Nick on Saturday, but really, if you can take a lot of what you did against the Blades and apply it on Tuesday night, I'm guessing you're going to be quite a happy man.
I was really pleased with the application, the attitude of the players. We knew that we were so disappointing in the previous home game against Milton Keynes, but the boys, I stand by what I said. I watched the game back again on Saturday night. I thought we matched them. We played better than I actually thought we did on the day. But we just lacked that little bit of end product. Something that we're going to have to work on now till the end of the season. I think we have been working on it, but it's going to take time for that to click, and it takes a lot of hours in the training ground, and we have been doing it, but it's producing it on a weekend and or a Tuesday night. So we know where we need to improve. I think our build-up play in deeper areas, our play in midfield is good. I think it's just the last little bit that we need to get better at, for sure. There's no two ways about that, and we'll get that because it's we've got too good of players not to get it.
And with the forwards, of course, you've got a couple who are new in the building. I know Craig's been here before, and I know Junior's been around a little longer than maybe the headlines might suggest, but all of that will take time to get the patterns you want.
Yeah, of course. Craig's just come in. He knows the way we play. He's played the same sort of style when he was here. Tom, Lee have been here all season, and Junior's not so. He's not been here a long time. So it's going to take time. But they're good players. The boys, they're young. They're learning. It's important that people stick by them. We've got 16 games left to the end of the season now. Everyone's going to be a cup final. I'm actually, although we could be in a higher position in the league, I'm pleased where we are, to be honest. I think looking back from last season, in terms of the progress we're making, we had 45 points after 36 games last year. We've got 44 after 30. So we're in a good position. We're in a good position to capitalise, but we can't keep talking about capitalising. We've got to go and do it now. And we're working really, really hard to try and do that.
Yeah, is Tuesday night significant as well? Because if you put in another performance against Shrewsbury, okay, you didn't win at the weekend, but it would be 3 strong performances in a row. And probably if there's a major frustration from this season, it has been the consistency or the inconsistency.
Yeah, consistency. I would say the consistency, we had it for, I think there's probably only been 2 months where we've been disappointing. Them 2 months is the reason why we're 8th or 9th in the league. If we had 1 month where we were inconsistent, I think we'd probably be in the playoffs. That's the bottom line. But we can't keep looking to what's gone. It's gone and done. It's dusted. We know we're looking forward. We've got 16 games left. We've got a tough game against a Shrewsbury team who are unbeaten in 6. But we need to focus on ourselves now. Listen, I'll give Shrewsbury all the respect in the world, and I know their manager really well, and spoke to him a few times. So it's going to be a tricky game, but when we're at home, we've got to stamp our authority on the game. We've got to get after them, like we did against Sheffield United. Play on the front foot, have that aggression about us. Defensively, we're refreshing to see that we're back to our old self in terms of our defensive stuff. Albeit we did switch off at a vital time, but we want to try and add more goals to our game. We want to try and get that attacking intent, because that's what I'm about. And I like my team to play forward and score goals, and we have in a hole this season, but I know there's more to come.
Will part of the challenge for the Shrewsbury game be the atmosphere? Because with 10,000 in on Saturday, it was amazing really throughout the 90 minutes, and both sets of fans really played their part. With the best will in the world, it probably won't be like that for the Shrewsbury game.
You got to deal with it, whatever's in the stadium at whatever time. In terms of that, you've got to block it out and concentrate on the football. That regardless if there's 30,000 or 2,000. We've all played in games when there's big crowds and very little crowds. It's important that our fans do come back and help us now, because, like I said before the Sheffield United game, they're going to be really important for us. They were brilliant on Saturday. They stuck by the team. They could see that they were working hard. But we know what we need to improve on. That's no one's blinkered around here. We know we need to score more goals. We know we need to create more chances. Get back to that creating chances where we were creating them but we weren't scoring them. So we want to try and get the two of them together now. And it's going to be hard work, but we'll get there.
For the Oldham game a couple of weeks back, you said afterwards that maybe giving you time again, you would have mixed things up a little bit more. Obviously, after a defeat, you begin to think about all of these things. With it being Saturday, Tuesday, again this time around, generally you've been very consistent with your team selection, but do you start to moderate that? Does the Oldham game make you think, well, perhaps I might make a few more changes?
Would you think back to games where you've played Saturday, Tuesday, and I've done that already. I've looked at how many changes have been made. I'm not one for making big changes to a team because I think it disrupts everything that you were trying to build anyway. But I'm one for freshening things up, definitely. I said after the Oldham game I should have done that. I was talked out of it, in terms of, I spoke to a few people and they're like, the team's won, but I got to make my own decisions now, and I have done all season, to be fair. But it's important that maybe we do have a look at freshening things up in certain areas of the pitch. It's definitely important because I think we've got 5 games left. We're in the 13th. I think it's the 13th of the month already, and we've got 5 left in this month. So it's going to take a big effort from the squad, and I feel as if I've got a good one. So it's important that we do freshen up without making any drastic changes, because I've got confidence in whoever I put in the team.
Is it almost a case of looking at the players in training the day before the game and just using a bit of your instinct and experience to assess the situation and then do what you think is right?
Yeah, I think it's important to assess people. Seen some of the boys yesterday and spoke to them and got a general vibe of how they're feeling. Because the previous month it took a lot out of the boys in terms of the January, the travelling they've done as well. So we'll have I've already assessed the boys this morning. Most of them is in a good place. When the teams, I would say, were playing well over the last couple of games. No one wants to come out of the team, but they got to realise that it's a squad that's going to get us to where we want to be. It's not just going to be an 11 or a 12. It's going to be 17, 18 players. So we'll assess that and we'll have a look at that, and we'll see where we go tomorrow.
Yeah, you've got Leo to come back in, and also Paul Taylor as well. Is he feeling better?
Leo and Paul Taylor trained today. Both. Leo was just more of a mental break, really. For a young kid, he's played a lot of football. I haven't really rested him in terms of a total rest, where I've left him out of the team and then I've brought him on. So I thought maybe just let him look at the game, see what he can learn from it, and then maybe get him back involved again. But Leo's a question, whether we'll bring him back in or we have him involved or we give him another game. That's something I need to decide. And Tails trained this morning, trained well, so I'm sure he'll be back involved at some point.
Obviously, Michael Bostwick, with his broken jaw, he'll be absolutely desperate to get back. I guess he's still able to run around and take part in certain things. It's just his jaw that isn't right. Is there any progress with him in terms of being able to get him out there with the problem, or will he have to wait until it's completely healed?
It's a tricky one with Bozzy, because he was out training this morning, not with us but with Ben, as was Harry Anderson, who's only a week or 2 away, same as Michael. But he can't fully sprint with it at the minute because in terms of where the fracture was. But it's just going to take time. I think if Bozzy played now and he got another whack on it, they'd be in serious trouble. So we got to be careful with Bozzy. He's been outstanding for us this season. You talk about consistency. He's been consistently good as anyone we've had in the squad, and he's been a big loss for us. But we don't hide behind the injuries that we've had. Jack Baldwin as well. It happens in football. You got to get on with it. That's why we've got a squad, and it'll be good to welcome Bozzy and Harry Anderson back, because disappointing when Harry came back as well, because I brought him back to start being involved, but didn't realise when we brought him back that he had a knock in his knee and had to get a scan on it, and it was worse than what we thought. So poor for Harry, really, because he was in good form at Lincoln, and that's the reason why we brought him back. But he's only a couple of weeks away, as is Bozzy, so it'll be a really, really strong group when them two come back.
Yeah, I know it's only early days, but with the Bostwick situation, it underlines that your January recruitment has worked out well. You've got Anthony Grant, obviously, who's come in, and Dominic Ball as well, both able to play their part with Bozzy not around.
It was important at the time because we knew Jack Baldwin was coming back from injury to bring Bally in, and Bally's been excellent since he's come in. And Granty was someone who I've monitored for a while. I'd spoken to him, went and met him 3-4 weeks before the window, just to see where he was at and would he like to come and join us. And he's been, judging by his 2 games, he's been an excellent signing. So we're pleased that we've got Granty in there and he can cover for Bozzy while he's away. But Granty's, he's been brilliant for 2 games, so there's no way he's going to want to come out of the team. Bozzy will have to, work his way back in like everybody has, and Chrissy Forrester and people like that. So it's competition for places, but it's healthy because everyone's fighting for it now. Like I said in my last press conference, there's no one sulking or anything like that. Everybody, I can sense a real focus and a real demanding. The boys demanding off each other every day in training, and they're going to demand each other. Even when the boys are not in the team, they want the others to win, which is a healthy place to have.